Buenas tardes, soy Natalia Sánchez de Spanish Perfecto and I'm here to help you learn Spanish Perfecto from level 0. Today we're going to continue with el imperfecto and we're going to study other uses of this tense. Are you ready to start? Empecemos. Before we begin, let's go through a quick recap of this tense. We use this tense when we talk about situations in the past that happened with a frequency, and this is one of the uses. Today, we will study a new one. Then, we studied how to conjugate the three kinds of verbs we have in Spanish, those ending with AR, ER, and IR. Por ejemplo, pasear. Yo paseaba, tú paseabas. Él paseaba, nosotras paseábamos, vosotras paseabais, ellas paseaban. To go for a walk. Ending with ER, beber, to drink. Yo bebía, tú bebías, él bebía, nosotras bebíamos, vosotras bebíais, ellos bebían. And ending with IR, for example, pedir, to ask for. Yo pedía, tú pedías, ella pedía, nosotros pedíamos, vosotros pedíais. Remember that the conjugation for verbs ending with ER and IR, it's the same. And what else did we study? We also studied time markers. These words give us a hint of which tense we will be using. Y aquí tenemos antes, normalmente, a veces, muchas veces, cada día, cada año, cada mes, cada semana, cada verano, cada invierno, cada otoño, cada primavera, casi todos los días, en aquella época, cuando era niño, cuando tenía 6 años, en aquel momento, at that moment, en aquel momento, en aquella época, en aquel momento. We could also use en esa época o en ese momento. En español, for this and this thing and these things, we have a lot of words. Este, esta, estos, estas. Este regalo, estos regalos. Esta camiseta, estas camisetas. And for that and those, we have ese, esa, esos, esas. Ese papel, that paper, esos papeles. Esa falda, that skirt, esas faldas. However, we also have aquel, aquella, aquellos, aquellas. Aquel papel, aquellos papeles. Aquella falda, aquellas faldas. And you might be wondering, what's the difference between este, aquel, esta, aquella? Well, in Spanish, as I say, we have este, ese, aquel. Este is something that it's close to us. Ese, it's something that it's a bit far from us. Aquel, it's something that it's very far from where we are. Este, ese, aquel. Of course, we have the singular and feminine. Esta, close to us. Esa, quite close to us. Aquella, quite far from us. And then we have the plural masculine and the plural feminine. Estos, esos, aquellos. Estas, esas, aquellas. If you still have any doubts about this, please text me on Instagram and I will try solving your doubts. After this quick recap and this explanation about some articles in Spanish, we're going to study other use of el imperfecto. We use el imperfecto to talk about things that happened in the past with a frequency, and we also use it to describe things, animals, or people in the past. To practice this, you're going to listen to a story, and as always, we're going to listen to the story in Spanish and then we will be translating it together. Cuando era niña, vivía en una pequeña granja en el campo con mi familia. La casa era grande y antigua, con paredes de piedra y techos altos. Siempre olía a pan recién horneado y a flores de jardín. Mis abuelos vivían con nosotros. Cultivaban un hermoso jardín. Cada mañana mi abuela se levantaba temprano para regar las plantas, mientras mi abuelo preparaba el desayuno en la cocina. En la granja teníamos muchos animales. Había gallinas, vacas y un caballo llamado Estrella. Pasaba horas cepillando su pelaje y paseando con ella. Los veranos eran especialmente mágicos. Las tardes eran largas y cálidas. Mi madre preparaba sándwiches y limonada. Las calles estaban llenas de puestos donde los vendedores ofrecían frutas frescas, verduras, quesos y pan. La plaza central tenía una fuente antigua donde los niños jugaban mientras los adultos hablaban. Había una panadería que hacía los mejores pasteles de manzana y siempre comprábamos uno para llevar a casa. Durante los inviernos, la granja se transformaba en un lugar tranquilo y acogedor. La nieve cubría los campos y el tejado de la casa. La escuela estaba cerca de la granja. Era pequeña, pero los profesores eran amables y dedicados. Eran tiempos sencillos, pero felices. Aquí en este texto estamos usando el imperfecto para historias en el pasado y para describir lugares y cosas. Here in the test, we are using el imperfecto to talk about experiences in the past that happened with a frequency, as we always say, and to describe things and places. Vamos a traducirlo juntos. Cuando era niña, when I was a kid, vivía en una pequeña granja. I used to live in a little farm, en el campo, in the countryside, con mi familia, with my family. La casa era grande, the house was big, y antigua, and antique, or old. Con paredes de piedra, paredes, walls, piedra, stones. So, walls made of stones y techos altos. Techos, we have techo, the ceiling, and techos, it's a lot of ceilings. I don't know if you can say that in English, but it means the ceiling. So the ceilings were tall, techos altos. Siempre olía, it always smelled a pan recién horneado. It always smelled to bread just baked. It means that it came just from the oven. Y a flores de jardín, and flowers from the garden, or gardens flowers. Mis abuelos vivían con nosotros. My grandparents lived with us. Cultivaban un hermoso jardín. Cultivaban, they grew a wonderful garden. Cada mañana, every morning, mi abuela se levantaba. Here we have a reflexive verb, and this time I did not dedicate an episode for reflexive verbs because I think you are now used to them and they are conjugated as the rest of the verbs. Me levantaba, te levantabas, se levantaba, nos levantábamos, os levantabais, se levantaban. So, mi abuela se levantaba temprano. She got up early para regar, to water las plantas, the plants, to water the plants. Mientras mi abuelo, while my grandfather, preparaba el desayuno en la cocina, while my grandfather prepared breakfast in the kitchen, en la cocina. En la granja teníamos muchos animales. In the farm we had a lot of animals. Había gallinas. There was, había. En español, hay, there is, there are. Ha habido, there has been, there have been. Hubo, there was, there were. Y había, there was, there were. Because as we said in English, they don't have el imperfecto. They don't have this tense. Había gallinas, vacas, so there was chickens and cows, y un caballo llamado Estrella, and a horse called Estrella, stars. Pasaba horas, I spent hours cepillando su pelaje, brushing the fur, y paseando con ella, and walking with her, or actually like riding with her. Los veranos eran especialmente mágicos. Summers were especially magic. Las tardes eran largas y cálidas. Evenings were long and cálidas. We can say cozy. It's like warm or cozy. Mi madre preparaba sándwiches y limonada. My mom prepared sandwiches and lemonade. There is something to say here in Spanish when we say un bocadillo, it's a sandwich. But if in Spanish we say sandwich, that means it's made with this soft and white bread. It's this kind of bread that you can keep in the kitchen for a while. But if we make un bocadillo, usually this bread, it's baked bread. So this is what you should expect if you come here to Spain in a restaurant and you ask for a sandwich or you ask for un bocadillo. El pueblo cercano era pequeño pero encantador. Cercano comes from the word cerca and it's an adjective. It describes the village. So, the close village was small but enchanting. Las calles estaban llenas de puestos. The streets were filled with stalls where the sellers, donde los vendedores, where the sellers ofrecían frutas frescas, where sellers offered fresh fruits, verduras, vegetables, quesos, cheese y pan and bread. La plaza central de Central Square tenía una fuente antigua. The Central Square had a fountain antique, an antique fountain, donde los niños jugaban, where the children played, mientras los adultos hablaban, while adults spoke. Había una panadería, there was a bakery que hacía los mejores pasteles de manzana. There was a bakery that made the best apple cakes. Y siempre and always comprábamos and we always bought uno para llevar a casa, one to take home. Durante los inviernos, during the winters, la granja se transformaba en un lugar tranquilo y acogedor. The farm transformed into a quiet and cozy place. So we had cálido, which was warm, but sometimes it's also cozy, and acogedor, it's also cozy, acogedor. It comes from the word coger, when something catches you, acogedor. La nieve cubría los campos y el tejado de la casa. The snow covered the fields and the roof of the house. We have very interesting words today, interesting vocabulary. We have pared, wall, tejado, roof,